Good morning, Nana here. Today, I'm going to explain you something about the purchasing accounting, which I've recently learned. It's working perfectly in EBIS, but in the Fusion, in the fag end of it, what happens? It's now giving some problems. Rather, I don't know how to set it up actually. Fine, please, if you know about it, write to me at nana.app60@gmail.com. And then also, please subscribe at the bottom. And then what happens? I'll be at most loading one video in a week, whatever I'm learning new. And so what happens? You'll be getting definitely benefited. I have a very vast domain experience of more than 20 years. I'm almost retired now. So what happens? My experience will reflect on all my trainings actually. I'm also conducting training. So the next batch is planned for the first week of March actually. So if you have any requirement of training also, whatever you can do it. And then it is a very cheap one, and then it is not a very costly one. So you can very well attend my training, and then there is no prerequisite required for all these trainings actually. Okay, we'll now go inside, and then we'll now start to show me the purchasing accounting. And I made a record on the supply chain accounting. That's working perfectly. But here what happens in the fag end of it, I'm having some issues. So I want your help now. Right. So let me go and then let me share my screen. And then I will now start to explain this part. So once when you know the results, what happens, what you can do is you can write to me. Fine. In the Fusion accounting, it is now giving a problem. And then I'm having more than 30 videos in my kitty. So do subscribe to this, and then what happens, you'll be getting benefited. So some topics may be of use to you. Fine, not everything, but some of them may be of use to you. So you subscribe, and then what happens, I get benefited by this now. Okay, let us now begin the activity now. So when you talk of what happens, I'll now go there. When you talk of a P2P life cycle, we are now going to discuss about the purchasing accounting. I normally used to demonstrate with what happens. I will now create an item with a $10 US cost, and then I will now create a purchase order at 11, and then afterwards what happens, I will now make the invoice at 30 now. Actually, what happens, it's not allowed. The invoice price cannot be more than the PO price, but just for demonstration purposes, to demonstrate the IPV, I used to do it now. So this has got a full demo there basically, because otherwise what happens, the invoice price will vary based upon what happens, your currency fluctuations only, and not because of this one. So if a currency fluctuation is there, what happens, IPP will be hit now. But since I cannot, what happens, I demo it, I used to have a $13 as an invoice price, and then used to demonstrate it now. So, but here what happens, we are now going to see the 5 salient areas where what happens, the accounting takes place. So once the material is received in the gate, when you make a PO, no accounting is made in the purchasing. You don't have any accounting at all. And then when you receive in the gate, what happens, these two accounts are getting hit now. One is receiving inspection account, and then the contra entry is accrual account. Right? You know, find these two entries getting hit now. And then afterwards, what happens when you go there, and then when you deliver the material into the inventory, what happens? You'll be having the charge account will be coming. Right? Inventory mental value will be hit, and then what happens? The contra entry is receiving. These two gets knocked off, and then the remaining entry are only accrual to charge. And then the PPV will hit only for a standard costing organization, and if it's going to be average costing organization, the PPV will not be hit at all. Right? So after 2 zones of accounting entries, what happens? The remaining entries are accrual to charge. That is the only remaining one. Afterwards, what happens? You are now going to obtain. What happens? Obtain the line level distribution by matching. It is a very strict instruction by many companies that what happens? You have to obtain only by what happens, relieving your thing. Either a PO match or a receipt match has to be made. By which what happens? You're going to relieve the what happens, accrual. Accrual is getting relieved over, and then afterwards what happens, this gets knocked off. These things get knocked off, and then the supplier is going to ask for what the IPV will be hit if you're having a what happens, multi-currency. When you're putting the PO on a different currency, what happens, the IPV will be hit. Otherwise, it will not be hit. And then he's asking for freight, miscellaneous expenses, and taxes. And then what happens in zone 3? We now create the real liability. In the previous zone, what happens? We have now in the first zone. We have the accrual account is hit. Accrual is nothing but a notional liability. Whereas this is a real liability. Fine. That gets converted to a real liability. Fine. So after this, what happens? You'll be having only what the charge account to liability will be the accounting entries which will relate to zone 3. Now we are going to issue a check to him, and then so what happens? The liability gets knocked off, and then what happens is the cash clearing will be getting it now. So then after the zone 4 entries, you'll be having your charge account to cash clearing. And then we have a bank reconciliation through cash management. And then when you do it, the cash clearing gets relieved, and then the cash gets hit. So ultimately what happens? The charge account to cash account is a very important one. Fine. What is being charged for which, what you're paying. Fine. That is what it is. So everybody will be interested in the charge account. Fine. Then the purchasing, what happens? The charge account is a very big one. So we'll now see about how the charge account can be hit now. The charge account can be hit in 6 many ways. The charge account in a purchase order can be done by 6 many ways. So we'll now go on and have a look at it now. Find how the charge account is getting hit now on the purchasing now. And go there. So we'll now have a look at it now. So this is an example of an asset and expense item. Fine. So if you open up the inventory, fine, go there. Let me go there and open up. I go there, go to items, master items. So I'm not getting an item. So once you get an item, what happens? I go there, and then there are 16 tab regions as far as item attributes are concerned. That has been reduced to 7 as far as Fusion is concerned. If you go to the inventory, and then what happens? If inventory is on, this is the gateway attribute. What happens? This becomes you become eligible for doing an activity in the inventory. This is the gateway attribute. I'm right now, and then it goes to go to the costing. If the inventory asset value is on, then this is known as an asset item. But now I'm unable to enable it because what happens? The gateway is not on. Fine, I will not let me enable the gateway, and then afterwards what happens? I cannot enable it. If these two attributes are on, the inventory item is on, and then the costing inventory asset value is on, the item is known as an asset item. Fine. Inventory item, and then the item is known as an asset item. And then when you're transacting it as sub inventory, which quantity tracked as well as asset sub inventory, we'll have a look at it now. Right? We're going to have a day. Fine. We'll now go and have a look at the sub inventory now. Fine. Here we'll now go to switch responsibility to inventory now. So inventory, we're going to have a look at it now. So here, SOS is a navigation entry, and then here going inside for M1R, and then here control F1. You can now see everything is coming. So in this place, what happens? You go there. If it is a quantity tracked and then asset sub inventory is enabled, then what happens is asset sub inventory. For example, the depot is an asset sub inventory. There is consigned when, which is used for consigned inventory. I'm now working over the Vision demo instance. So quantity tracked is that asset sub inventory is off, means what is an expense sub inventory. This is an expense sub inventory. So these two attributes decide whether the sub inventory is an asset or expense. So when you transact an asset item into a quantity tracked asset sub inventory, the transaction is known as asset into asset. And then all the raw materials, sub assemblies, and goods, finished goods will now what happens? Come under this category actually. Now, for the demonstration purposes, what happens? When you perform an asset into asset, what happens? We have in organization parameters an account. So I have already taken out one. Fine, now go and see this account now. Go there, close it. Fine, here go to the setup organization parameters, and then here you can now see this now. In the costing area, we'll be having a middle account. This account will be the charge account. This account will be the charge account when you perform an asset into asset. This becomes account, and then stores is an asset sub inventory. The asset sub inventory is also going to have an expense account. Fine, let me have a look at it now. Fine. So this is the one. So in Fusion, what they have done is everything has been pushed into costing. Costing is a separate module. So all the accounts are being set over there only. Fine, all the accounts are set over here now. Apart from that, what happens? You go on and set up over here now. In the other accounts, you see what happens. The IPV is set over here. The accrual is set over here. Fine. These two accounts are the purchase price variance also set over here. Fine. So as far as the procure to pay life cycle is concerned, the IPV and then the accrual are important, and they are set in a different place basically. They are now set in a different place. Fine, close it. So here, what happens? We do the setups in Fusion in a different place for the IPV as well as accrual. I'll tell you. Go on and show it to you there. Basically. So this is what else. But here, if you see in this place, this is the one which will be the charge account for this now. The charge account is this now. Fine, for an asset into asset sub inventory. Fine, what else? I will not show you the sub inventory expense account, but that will not come as a PO charge account. PO charge account will not be there. Now, fine. Have a look at it now. You will not see the sub inventory expense account over here now. Fine, go there. SOS is the navigation entry, and then we'll now query for the sub inventory. Go there. Control from one. If you see the sub inventory stores, will now go down. So stores account, I'm going to have a look at it now. So too much of this, let me query it now. Right. Stores, I'm querying it now. And if you query it, what happens? You can now see the stores will be having an expense account. If you go here, what happens? They'll be having an expense account. So this is the expense account. So I have taken the expense account 75207530. Fine, what else? And this will never be the charge account as long as it is an asset into asset sub inventory. So the material account in the organization parameter will become the asset account. That is case number 1 now. So the first case, there are 6 cases are there. The first case, second case, what happens? They are now going to have, if you are transacting it in expense sub inventory where asset sub inventory is off now, this is an expense sub inventory. So here the example is what the asset item is kerosene and then issued to a maintenance sub inventory. So this is called asset into an expense sub inventory. So here what happens for maintenance purposes, you're issuing it out. So it gets expensed out, and so what happens? Such a transaction is known as asset into expense. So we have the R parameter. The expense sub inventory is there. It will be having on expense account. Now go on and have a look at it now. Let us go and query it now. Expense sub inventory. So expense sub inventory will be having an expense account that I have taken 03520 ending in 110. That is one. So that becomes a charge account. Here. So when you transact asset into expense, the expense sub inventory is expense account. That becomes the charge account. That is case number 2. In case number 3, what happens? Item itself is an expense item. the inventory asset value is off, it's an expense item. And then here what happens, you go there. And then when you transact it into an asset sub inventory, the asset sub inventory, we have already seen what is the expense account, this is the one. So that becomes a charge account. Right? But item is also having one expense account. Right? Item is also having an expense account. Let's go and see the items expense account now. I close it now. You go there, go to the items, and then go to the org items, because it's the org control parameter as far as this item is concerned. Fine, go there. So M10 percentage, EX percentage, I think we tap. Expense item, I'm going to query now. Fine, click on find now. I'm now querying on the org item parameter. So there, what happens? You go there and have a look at the purchasing. So you will be having an account now. So this is the account I have taken out. 0 to 520, 7530, 260. Fine. So if you don't put any sub inventory, this account will now become a charge account. The moment you put a sub inventory, the sub inventory's account will become the charge account. That is case number 2. And then if you're putting an expense sub inventory, the expense sub inventory account will become charge account. So let us now first of all make a check of all the 4 scenarios now, and then afterwards we'll now go for the remaining 2 now. Fine. So the accounts have been shown over here now. Find the orders, and then we'll now make a check of this in the purchasing. Let us now go and then make a purchase order. Switch responsibility to purchasing, and then let us now make a purchase order. Go there, and then the purchase order is now getting made now. Find M10 percentage, and then give a tap. You're making it now. Fine, go there, click on it. So M10 percentage. I'll now put the asset item over here now. The asset item, I'm putting it. So let's go for 100 quantities now. I go to the shipments, all type shipments, go there. So in what happens in a shipment, we have to give all the 4 informations. There is org, location, and then the quantity and dates are mandatory, and go there. After that, go to the distribution. In the distribution, what happens, I'm going to put the sub inventory as stores. I give a tap. Enter in stores is sub inventory, which I'm going to put it. And then if you commit it, the charge account will be coming again. And the charge account is what? The sub inventory's expense account will not come, but organization, fine, organization parameter middle account will be the charge account. Fine, go there. And then control S commit. So we now see the charge account will be 01001410, which you are taken up from this place now. So case number 1 is not up. So we'll now go for the second case. If you put the expense sub inventory, we'll now make a change to the expense sub inventory. Expense sub inventory, we are going to make it now. The moment I commit it, what happens? You can now see the expense sub inventory's expense account will now become the charge account. And go there, then commit, control S commit. So 03 520 7530 110 the account. So second case is also removed. We'll now go for the third case, where what happens, we'll be having an expense item as such. And go there, close it now. We'll now add one more item on this now. Go down, click on it. I'm going to add one more item, M10 percentage, and then expense item I'm going to add now. So here, what happens, the asset value, inventory asset value is removed. Actually, I have not shown that actually. There is no removed. It's 200 quantities. You go there, and then go to the shipments, and then let me give the promise date. Right? So for a shipment, what happens, org, location, quantity, and dates are mandatory. You go to the distribution, and then I'm not giving any sub inventory at all. If you don't give any sub inventory for an expense item, the expense items, the expense account will become the charge account. You can see 02 ending in 265. Go there, commit. Let's commit. If you commit it, what happens? The expense sub inventory's expense account will now become the charge account. You can see that is now become the large account. 02 520, and then ending in 260. So expense sub inventory. Now, the moment you put the asset sub inventory, the asset sub inventory's expense account will now become the charge account. Go there. I'll now put the asset sub inventory. So the asset sub inventory's expense account will now become the charge account. It's 70 520 7530. So that has become the charge account. So if you don't put any sub inventory, items expense account is charge account. Now, if you put an expense sub inventory, you'll now see what happens. You put expense sub inventory and then commit. So expense sub inventory's expense account will now become a charge account. 03110. It is now 03110. This is how the charge account generator module has been set as a default. These are the defaults. But if the customer says that, what happens? No. If item is there, I do not want the sub inventory's expense account. Items expense account also always should come, fine, irrespective of whatever sub inventories I'm transacting it. Then what happens? The financial team will now modify the charge account, the charge account generator module. In Fusion, what happens? We have a similar module called TAB, Transaction Accounting Builder. So the Transaction Accounting Builder will be modify the financials based upon the requirement of the end client. So in fact, what happens? This charge account population they will have more than a week's time of a discussion, and then finally they will not drive it. So if you know how to do the charge account generator, or in Fusion the transaction accounting builder, you can even know but how to make a change. Now we are only talking about the defaults which are being set there. But what happens, if you know that module, you can even do the change, and then what happens, you can even see that items expense account will always be the charge account irrespective of the sub inventory. Likewise also can be given. So we are now discussed about the 4 different cases. Now there are 2 more cases, where what happens, you'll be having a service item. So if it is a service item, like what happens, welding, special cutting, AMC, etc., can be logically received in the establishment rate to facilitate payment to the service provider. So you have to make a receipt, and then what happens? You have to make a service provider. So the service item, what happens? The purchase officer's expense account will now become the charge account. And close it now. Have a look at now. Close it. We'll now switch responsibility to HRMS now. We'll now go to the HRMS, and then from there, what happens? We'll now go then query fine. Switch responsibility to HRMS now. In HRMS, let me query the employee's expense account. The purchase officer's expense account will now become the charge account. So we are going to query this now. Fine. Stock mispat is the purchase officer as far as vision is concerned now. So I will now put stock percentage pat percentage tab, and then let me query it now. So what happens? We now go to the assignment area. So click on the assignment button. There we'll now go to the assignment. Fine. Click on assignments. And there we can now see that employees. This is a purchase officer. His purchase officer's expense account will be seen. And go there, drop it down, and then go to the purchase order information now. Click on purchase order information, and this is the charge account. And go there, the charge account, and cancel it. So I'll not take a copy of it now. Fine, it's 01. So let me put it in a notepad. So that what happens? You can verify this now. Fine, go there. So if you're going to be a service item, what happens? This becomes the charge account. Fine, 0111076999, and this is the charge account. So let us close it now. And then there is one more thing. There is a sixth one is called what happens? A category level override. So let me, I might have already set it. Let me remove it now first of all, and then afterwards I'll not create it. So we'll now go and see the category level override now. Fine, go there. So you'll now go to what? Setups, and then go to financials, and then go to accounting. Fine, go to accounting, and then here we have expense account rules. So this is applicable only for service items. Right? Whenever you're having a service item, what happens is applicable. Apart from that, is not applicable now. Set up financials, accounting, expense account rules. Fine, double click on it now. So we're going to see this now. Go there. So I might have already created something. Let me delete everything, and then afterwards, sixth case I will now freshly demonstrate to you. Right? Let me delete all these things now. I delete it. So I have made two such things. Let me delete it now. And this is a big one in many companies now. Fine. If they're buying cement, what happens? It has to go on account and sand and then jelly. Like what happens? One of the building construction company we have implemented it. We even have around 600 entries over here. That much of variance they want actually. I go there, delete it now. So it's not that. So now what happens? They go there, go to the navigation, and this is in the navigation setup, financials, accounting, expense account rules, which what happens? You can even have a category level override. So now we go there and then go to the purchase order, and then let us now create what happens as service item now. Fine, you go there. So M10 is the one supplier. If I give a tab, and then go there, and then here type I'm going to make a change now. Not goods. It's not going to be a service based now. Service based. So I will now go to the fixed prices and services. It's a service based one now. Fixed prices services. I'm now going to do it. Click on OK. Service based one. And go there. Category is important here. So it is basically category based purchasing. MISC. I'm giving it now. Fine, go there. So I will now say it's AMC contract. AMC contract. And then I will now give a date of promising. Fine, go there. And then afterwards, what happens? I will now go there. And then I will now give a save now. Fine. The account, the amount I'm now putting it in. Go there. And then here, what happens? I will now go there. Everything is now given. Fine. The charge account is coming here or not? It's not coming. Huh? Fine, go there. So in the lines region, we'll now see whether the charge account is shown or not. Yeah, charge account is here. So the moment I commit it, fine, this is a service based item. The employee's expense account, this account 0111076994030 will become the charge account. Fine, go there. Commit it, let's commit. So we're going to have a look at it now. Fine. Here itself we can now see the charge account now. Fine, 01110, which is nothing but the employee's account now. Fine, this account. Now, what happens? This is the fifth case. On the sixth case, what happens is they would like to have a category level override. If the category is going to be MISC, the category is going to be MISC, what happens? I would like to have a variation now. Fine. The first segment and second segment, they would like to have a variation. It should be not 01, it should be 02, and then it is not 110, and then some other value 140. So let us go and see the category level override now. So this is a navigation where what happens? You now go on there. Fine. You can now see this navigation. You go to the window and then go to the navigate now. Fine. The expense account rule, set up financials, accounting, expense account rules. So that navigation is available here now. Fine, go there. And then let me create it. Fine, click on create now. This category level override is applicable only for categories and nothing else. Fine, no other thing. It'll fine, go there. It'll only for item category. Fine, no other things. You don't have any other option. Fine, go there. Accounting value rule. I will now say it's MISC. Fine, go there, give a tap. And then the segment, I'm going to drop it down. I will now choose the company segment and I will now find out. So it's initially 01. I'm now going to make an override of 02 actually. So we'll now go there. Let me override to 0. Fine, give a go. And then let me override to 02. So 02, I'm overriding. And go there. Click on select. and then click on apply now. Fine, we'll now apply it. Fine, click on apply. So by which this is now applied. So we have one the first department. You can even override on all the segments actually. Fine, I will now create one more thing and then show it to you. Fine, click on create, and then I will now say value is misc, give it a, and then segment, we drop it down, and then choose the department now. And then the segment value, I will now choose, it was initially 110 there. So let me, what I was make it to some other thing. Fine, let me say 140, I'm going to make it. So click on apply. So if the category on your purchase order is going to be misc, what happens? The first segment is now going to change to 02, and then the second segment is going to be 140. So let us go and then make a check of it now. Fine. So we'll go there, and then we'll now make a check of it. And the purchase order will be there. Fine, go there. We'll now go for the second line now. Fine, click on it. I'll now go for it now. Fine. Go there. I will now show again fixed prices services. Go there, and then I will now shift F5. I will now copy the previous field now and go there. I will now say AMC1. And something like that. Go there. I will now give a promise date, shift F5, and then go further. And then here I will now give an amount of $20. The moment I save it, you can now see that what happens, it will be having the overriding values now. Fine, give a save, and give a control S commit. So the moment I commit it, what happens, you can now see the category level override, which is going to go further. What happens, you can now see the first segment has got overridden to 02, the second segment has gone to 140. So these are the 6 ways of populating a charge account. Now, let us now jump into Fusion and then see this now. Fine. There are 6 ways of populating it now. So for the Fusion, what I have did is, I have now generated, I have now created so many accounts here now. Fine. Is 1,000 is an asset, 1,001 is a liability, and then 1,002 is an expense, and then 1,004 is a owner's equity. Fine. We need these minimum accounts for demonstrating a PO. Fine. So I have now done it. Apart from that, for demonstrating the charge account basis, what happens? I have now made 1,004 to 1,008 as an expense account, and then 1,009 to 1,011 as an asset account, and then what happens? I have created one more liability account. Fine. So here in eBiz, what happens? We have one what's called if you go there and then see this now, this place. If you switch responsibility inventory, we have 2 types of liability now. Fine. One is what happens, asset liability, and then one is an expense liability. Fine. Go there. If you go to this place, if you go to set up organization parameters and have a look at it now for M1R, you'll now see, go there. In the other accounts, what happens? We have what happens on IPV is there, inventory accrual, sorry. Is an asset accrual and then one expense accrual. Asset accrual is this account, and then what happens? We have an expense accrual defined on purchasing options now. Right? This is an asset accrual which is there at the org level now. Right? Go there at the org level, and then afterwards, what happens? We have an expense accrual available now. Right? Switch responsibility to you. And then here, we'll now go to the setups, organization, and then go to the purchasing options. You see, if you go and then have a look at the purchasing options now. In the purchasing options, we have an expense accrual being defined now. So to simulate that, what happens? You can now see the bottom, you have an expense accrual. So expense accruals are normally accrued at period end actually. Only at the end, we are going to accrue it. And then asset are perpetual now. Asset items are always perpetual. That means what? As and when the transactions are made, it gets accrued. So expense items, since what happens, they are not going to contribute to your what happens, your manufacturing cost. So we accrue it at the end, month end, and then what happens, they give it to the management. So we will have a different expense accrual, and then we have a different asset accrual also. Accrual has got 2 things. So that is why what happens, I have now created what happens, the 2 accruals. This is for the liability account. Accrual is always the liability account. So I created one for the asset and then one for the expense. 1012 is an expense. So now let us know, I have created 2 such sub-inventories for you now. Fine. One is the EM1 is an asset sub-inventory, and then one is an expense sub-inventory. Now I'll now show you how I have set up now. Fine. The setup I'm going to show it to you about as far as accounting is concerned now. So there is what's called a separate one. We'll now go there and then log in now and then show it to you. Fine, go there. So let me close this now. And then I will now log in into what happens, Fusion now. I'm now working on a release 12 instance actually. Go there and then let me show it now. So you're bringing in, fine, go there. It's EM10. I'm now logging into the system now. So once I log in, what happens? We have one manage mapping set available under this thing. Fine, go there. So in this place, what I will do is I'll go there, click on it, and then go to the setup and maintenance area. Click on your name and then go to the setup and maintenance. And then from there, what happens? I'm going to go to the manage mapping set. So we have to go via projects now. Fine. There are multiple navigations available here. Through functional setup manager also you can go. Fine. I am habituated to doing like this. I'm doing it, but you can even go via multiple navigations. Open the project, and then there, what happens? I'm going to go for manage percentage, map percentage, set percentage. Manage mapping set is the one. I go there, and then we have to go via cost accounting. Fine. There is one thing, the receipt accounting. This is for the supply chain accounting, which you can see in the next video. I will demonstrate this now. So for the cost accounting, what happens? I click on the manage mapping set. I go inside now. And the cost accounting, manufacturing cost accounting, right? Manufacturing cost accounting. And then there, what happens? I go and then query for the manage mapping set. So here, what happens? The scope selection is what? Cost management. So keep it, and then what happens? You go inside now. I click on the inside, and then go to the task now. And manage mapping set task. So the first account which I'm going to demonstrate is what? Material account for the sub-inventory now. I go there. So I'll now drop down the search. There are plenty of accounts are there. Hundreds and thousands of accounts are there. Fine. Material. I'm going to make a check now. In the material, what happens? The sub-inventory is the topmost priority. Material account and sub-inventory. Fine. Click on it. And then here, material account sub-inventory, I'm going to show it to you. Fine. Go there. And then the bottom, what happens? You can now see this now. One second. Here, what happens for my chart of accounts? For my chart of accounts inside, what happens? We'll be having this now. And the one, the middle account sub-inventory. So for my chart of accounts, M10 COA, I have given 2 accounts now. For the asset sub-inventory, I have given 1009 now. If you go and see 1009 for the asset sub-inventory, because we have now given 1009 as an asset account. I have now given the asset sub-inventory. And then for the expense sub-inventory, I have given an expense account of 1004. 1004 to 1009 or 1004 to 1008 are expense accounts basically. So this is what is. And then I have given for the expense sub-inventory this one. Fine. Asset sub-inventory 1009 I have given. For the expense sub-inventory it is 1001 for this one. You can also see this one. So the expense sub-inventory 1004 has been given. So this is the sub-inventory level. Fine, go there, cancel it. And then I will now show you to the org level now. Fine, go there, click on it. So sub-inventory. This will now only default. Fine, this is only default. And then what happens? If you go and then see at the middle account organization level. So in the middle account organization level. So here at the middle account organization level. So let me go and then see my chart of accounts over here now. So here for my chart of accounts of M10. If you go down and then have a look at it now, fine. Here what happens, I have now given this as account, for charge account, and this is a default. I have said it's a default. And so what happens for all the inventory orgs, this will be the account. 110 will be the account. So if these two are absent, then only what happens, it will come. If sub-inventory is absent, then only it will pick up from the org as a charge account now. So this is for asset into asset or expense, it will come. So when you transact asset into asset, what happens, 1009 will be coming. When you transact asset into expense, 1004 has to come now. And then if these two are absent, then the org account will now come over here. So this is the asset one. Fine. For the expense, we'll now have this one. Fine. We'll now have the expense into asset now. Fine. So we'll now go to expense account for the sub-inventory. Now go there and have a look at it now. Fine. Close it. So this is now completed. Fine. Cancel it. So we'll now have a look at the expense account, the sub-inventory level. Click on this now. We'll now go to the expense account, the sub-inventory level. Fine. Make a search for it now. Fine. Go there. Click on it. I will now make a search for expense now. Expense is an entry now. Fine. We're going to make a search for the expense now. So expense account, the sub-inventory level is the highest probability. Fine. Click on it. Priority number 1 now. I will now go there. And then I will now show it to you our chart of accounts now. Fine. In this one, I will now show you our chart of accounts now. Fine. So here for my chart of accounts, I have given 2 such values. Fine. One for the asset sub-inventory is 1004. So when you transact expense into an asset, 1004 will be defaulted onto your requisitions or purchase orders. And then when you transact expense into an expense sub-inventory, 1005 will come. Right? Then the expense sub-inventory, if you go and then have a look at it now, the expense sub-inventory 1005 will come. So I configure it. And then if these two are absent, then what happens? It will now pick up from the org level. Now. Expense account at the org level, it is going to pick up now. Fine, there is 1006 now. Fine, go there. So let us now go and then have a look at it now. I cancel it. So expense account at the org level, I'm going to make a check of it. Click on the expense account organization. And then here, I've given the org level, go down, and then have a look at my, what happens, the chart of accounts now, find the M10. So here at the org level, I have given 1006 now. Fine, go down, and see this now, it's 1006. So if these two things are absent, then what happens, this will fire actually as a charge account. And then I have given employees expense account as 1007 now. So let's go there and see this now, fine, go there, close it now. So cancel it. I will not show you, but how to see the employees expense account. Fine, click on done and then come out of it now. But then we'll now go there. Go to the navigator now. And click on the navigator now. And then there, you go there. And then you go to the workforce and then person management. My workforce person management, in which what happens, I'm going to query my employee. Employee has to be queried with the last name, comma, first name. That should be the way. Last name, comma, first name. That's the way you have to query it now. Go there. And then I will now query for the one is EMP1, comma, space, EM10 underscore. Fine. Last name is EMP1. So then the first name is EM10. Fine. Click on search now. The last name, comma, first name, comma, space, first name will be coming. Fine. Click on it. And then here I will now show you the employee's expense account over here. So I'm now in the person management. I'm querying the employee. I'm going inside. And then I will now show you the expense account as what? 1007. Fine. Go down, go down, go down. So the bottom, what happens, you can see this now, fine, is 1000. Default expense account is 1000. So this will come for the service item actually. Fine, go there. This will be coming. And then here, what happens in Fusion, you have one more facility that what happens, we can even have a user preferred account set up now that will now supersede this 1000. If you set up as 1002, your 1002 is also an expense account now here. 1003 is also an expense account. So if I set this user preferred account, what happens, this will now supersede this 1007. And this will only be the charge account and not this 1001 at all. So this much we have set up now. So let us now go and then experiment on this on a requisition side. Go and then experiment on requisition and go there. So let us now create a requisition and then experiment all these things now. Fine, go there. So click on this home icon and then you go to the procurement and then go to the requisition page and go there. Go to the procurement. Click on yes now. You come out of it and then you click on the home icon and then go to the procurement now. Go to the procurement and then I go to the purchase requisitions. Purchase requisition. We are now going to set up all the things now. 8 such tests we are going to make now. So we're going to go and then begin our first test now. So in this place, what happens? I'm now opening a requisition form in which, first of all, the thing is you have to set up the preference now. Fine, click on edit now. I will now set up the preference now. Fine, the preference, what happens? I will now say this is an asset sub-inventory. Fine, we are now going to transact into asset sub-inventory. Asset into an asset is the first one. So I go there. I will now change the sub-inventory to asset. Fine, click on save and close now. And I don't understand the meaning of this now. Fine, there's a thing which is now become mandatory actually. Fine. So this is not there in eBiz at all. Fine. We have to set up the preferences first of all, and then afterwards go into the requisition line entry as you know. Fine. Click on the requisition line entry. Now I'll now put an asset item over here and then transact into asset sub-inventory. Fine, go there. Item is asset. Fine. Yep. 10. I will now go there. I will now put an item one as an asset item. Go there. Now coming. Fine. Let the 10 quantities over here. Fine. Go there. And then go there and then down. Fine. Go there. So what happens? 1004 is coming. Fine. 1004 is another account. Fine, go there. So the first case is now what happens is now coming. No, it is actually 1009 has to come now, but it is not showing as 1004. It's not a correct one. So once when you go into the requisition, it will not go and then show it properly. It's not showing as 1004. So what you do is you go and then click on add to requisition now. Fine, click on add to requisition. You go to add to requisition and then there you can see it correctly. Click on details of it. Otherwise you can now see it very correctly. Click on edit of it. And then here what happens, you can now see this is 1009. Fine, 1009 is the one. So first case is not tested now. We have to go into the requisition and make a check of it. Now we will now make a transfer to expense sub-inventory. Here itself I will not try to make it now. Fine. You go there, make a change to expense sub-inventory. It has to become 1004 now. You go there, make a change to expense sub-inventory. Fine. The sub-inventory is an expense. And then go and then save it now. And click on save now. So once when you save it, what happens? It has to become an expense sub-inventory. It should become 1004. Fine. So sub-inventory become expense 1004. So these two cases are now tested now. Fine. Now we'll now go for the one. If these two are absent, then what happens? 1010 defined and the organization parameter and the material account org will now come in. Fine. So let me put an end date for these two accounts, and now you can see we'll now see this. The third case we are going to test it now. Fine, go there. So it's what us. You go down. And then go to shop, and then I will now open up one more tab region now. Fine, go there. So let me open up one more tab region, and then set up this account now. Fine, go there. Here I will now set up. I will now put an end date for the sub-inventory levels. Notice. Go there. Click on it now. I will now go to what happens. You go to the setup and maintenance, and then I go to the project now. Fine, via project we have to do it now. Otherwise, scope selection will not be possible. But if you have a different method, please follow that now. Fine, doesn't matter. I go there. I will put it. I now open up this now, and then here I will now go for the manage mapping set now. Manage percentage, map percentage, set percentage entry now. I go to the manage mapping set and then go via cost accounting and not receipt accounting. That too via manufacturing. Manufacturing has got two entries, one for the cost accounting, one for the receipt accounting. So manufacturing's cost accounting, I have to go over. Fine, click on the manage mapping sets. And then here we go there, go inside now. Fine, go to the manage mapping set. There's a cost management. Fine, the scope is already selected. And then go to the task now directly. So the task, I will now end up everything. Fine, go there. I will now go to sub-inventory level. Fine, it is called material account sub-inventory. Material account sub-inventory. Let me put an end date for this now. Fine. You go there. Material account sub-inventory. Let me put an end date for both the things now. Let's see. Material account sub-inventory. Fine. Go there. So in the bottom, I will now have to choose first of all now my this thing now. Go down. At the material account sub-inventory, we have to choose this now. Once again. Now for my chart of accounts, what happens? I'm going to put an end date for these two things. Fine. 109 and 104. I'm putting effective end date now. Fine. Go there. Let me put end date. So let me put some few days before now. Here also, I'll put a few days before. So sometimes what happens, if you put today's date, it will be working till today and go there and put it. So 1009 and 1004 have been put an end date now. If these two are end dated, then it will not pick up from the org level. It It will not pick up from the org level. 110 will be the charge account, whether you transact the asset into an asset sub-inventory or expense sub-inventory, because at the org level, it is not going to pick up. Fine. 110 will be the charge account. And go there and say, no, fine. I've got end date. And then let me save and close now. Fine. Click on save and close, which is now end dated now. Fine. Go there. Now I'll now go there and then create a purchase requisition over here now. Fine. Go there in this place. Whatever. I'll now create a purchase requisition for an asset itself. I'm going to make it now. Fine. Click on this requisition line entry. So 104 and 109 will not come, but 110 will now come. M10. Then I'll now put an item over here now. So here, everything is now there. Fine. I'll now go for some quantities. Fine. All quantities, give a tab. So 110 has to come now, fine, because they are indated now. So here itself, sometimes it will also is not showing you perfectly. Fine. If it is not showing, what happens? You go into the requisition area, and then there it will not show perfectly. Fine. Charge account is 110 because what happens? We are now indated these two things. So since we indated, it is now picking up from the org level. Fine. It's not tested. Now we'll now go to the expense area now. So this is asset into an asset sub-inventory, asset into an expense sub-inventory, and then if these two are end dated or there is no entry at all, it will now pick up from what happens the material account at the org level. And org level it will pick up. So for the asset, we are not tested everything. Now we'll now go to the expense. We'll now go to the expense now. So we'll now test up the expense now. Expense. So out of 8 cases, we have not tested 3 cases. We'll now go for the expense item test now. So expense into an asset sub-inventory. So 1004 has to come now. Fine, go there. And then I'll now go down, go back, fine, go there, return shopping. And then I'm returning back to shopping. And then here, what happens? I'm going to go there. First, what happens? I'll now make a change to the preference now. Fine. It is strongly recommended by the financial team because they only do the accounting. And then they say that what happens? You change the preference and then go, just fine, go there, now make a change to expense sub-inventory. Fine. Change this to expense sub-inventory. Fine. Click on save and close now. Fine. By default, what happens? We are now going to bring it in the reserve zone. Click on save and close now. You know that. Now we go to the purchase requisition and then let me put an expense item over here now. Click on this now. M10. I will now put an expense item over here now. Expense item is now put over here now. Fine. Go there. And then here, what happens? You go there, and then the sub inventories and expense sub inventories is not defaulted from the preference is not fine. Go down and then see the charge account now. It's not showing as 1005 now. So here, what happens? It should be expense sub inventory, and expense sub inventory is 1005 is very correct. If you go do the expense item into an asset sub inventory, it has to go and show as 1004. Fine, go there. So this is not showing correctly. So let me make a change to asset sub inventory. Fine, go there. Let me make a change to asset sub inventory. Fine, go there and see. So it has to become what? 1004 now. Fine, it's not becoming. Fine. Asset sub means 1004. It has to become now. The expense account is not having. So what I will do is I will now go and then add to the requisition now. Fine. So before which the previous one I will not delete it now. Fine. Go there. Let me delete it now. And then add to requisition now. So inside what happens? I'm going to make a check. Fine. Click on edit and submit. So inside I'm going to make a check. Inside it will not show perfectly. And go there. So here if you go on and see it's now 1005. The sub inventory itself is absent. Fine. This should not come like that now. Fine. It has to come properly. So what I do is I don't make a change there now. Fine. I will not change inside only. Fine. That's the thing. It is not showing you some problem here. When you try to make a change outside, what happens? It's not coming properly. So go to the requisition line entry, and then I will now make a change inside now. And go there. Item is M10. Fine. M10 expense item. I'm going to put it now. An expense item, putting it now. So leave alone the defaults as such now. Fine. The default is expense sub inventory. Fine. Leave it as such now. It's not showing 1005 for this now. Okay. Fine. Expense into expense sub inventory is not showing. So I will now add it to the requisition. Then inside I will now make a change. Fine. Go there. So click on add to requisition. Fine. Read it, and then afterwards I will now click on add to requisition, and then inside I will now make a change. Fine. Click on edit and submit. So go there, and then here drop it on. Oh God, this is not coming as such now. Fine. This should come actually. After 2-3 iterations, I got it now. Actually, I don't know why that is happening now. Now the sub inventory is coming now. Fine. If you put the asset sub inventory, what happens? You can now see expense item into an asset sub inventory. Item is what? Expense item. Item is an expense item. And then expense item into an asset sub inventory 1004 is coming here. What happens? You can now see expense item and asset sub inventory is 104. And then if you make a change to expense sub inventory, it will now become 1005. The preference itself, I said asset as such, fine, go there. If you make a change to expense sub inventory, it will have to become 1005. Give a save now, and go there and then give a save. And click on save now. So the moment I save it, what happens? It will now become this now. 1006. So sub inventory, what happens? It has now become what? It now become 1005. For an expense sub inventory, it is now 1005. For an asset sub inventory, it is 1004. And again, make a change now. Fine. I'll now make a change to asset sub inventory. Fine. And then save. It has to become 1004 now. Fine. Give a save now. It has to become 1004 now. So okay, fine. This case are just now. What happens? I'm going to put an end date for these two things. It will now pick up from the org's expense account. Expense item into an asset sub inventory or expense sub inventory. It will now pick up from the org the value of 1006. So let us go there and then do it now. Fine. So we'll now go there. Click on that, and then middle account sub inventory. Fine. It is not a middle account. I have to go for the expense sub inventory. Fine. Expense account. Fine. Go there. Let me query expense now. When you query expense subinventory, we have at the subinventory level, org level, and then item level also. In item level, that will be the ultimate, I think, probably. So we have to put an item and then do it as a lab access for you, try to make it and do it now. I will now go to the expense subinventory, expense account subinventory. Let me put an end date for these two entries now. Go there. So there I'm going to put an end date now. Fine. I will now choose the M10 one, and then let me put an end date. And select it and then go down. And then let me put an end date now. And go there. So let me put an end date now. So 23. Then this, whatever I'm going to get date of 23. Go there. 23. So what happens is these two things are 4 and 5 are now done. So once when 4 and 5 are done, what happens? You now pick up from the org level. Expense account of the org level is 1006. That will be coming as a charge account. Go there. Go to this place. Save and close now. Now we'll go there and then shop it. Go to the purchase requisition and then go back. This place. What happens? You make a charge. Give a shop now. Go back to shopping area and then do the shopping now. So click on the requisition line entry, and then here, what happens? I'm going to make a charge. Fine, go there. I will now pop in the M10 item. Fine, M10 expense item. I'm going to choose it now. Okay, and then let me remove this now. This one, and then I will now add the requisition. Then click on edit and submit. So if you go there, now what happens? An expense item into an expense subinventory. Fine, drop it down. Again, it is not coming. So this has to come after 2-3 iterations only. It is coming. I don't know why it's behaving like this now. That you have to understand it now. So let me go on and try again now. So here, what happens when I indate the subinventory level? It has to pick up from org level, but it is not picking the org level. It is not picking only the employees expense account as your what happens account actually charge account now. I don't know why it's so, but I read it like this only. It has to pick up only from the org level, but it is not picking. I don't know why it's so. And just make an analysis. This is one thing which is I'm not able to understand it now. I go there. So here, if I go and see this now, is 1007 is now coming. Fine. Whether you put the subinventory as an expense or an asset. Fine. Go there. Make a change now. So employees account is only coming. I click on save. Employees expense account is only coming as 1007 and charge account. So this I'm unable to. I don't have a clarity on this one. This is one thing problem. Now we'll now go for the seventh case now. Seventh case is what? When you go for an expense item, service items, what happens? It will be employees account will be coming. There is a seventh case. We go there and see this now. So we'll now go to the shop and then click on the requisition line entry. We'll now go for a fixed prices services. Drop it down. We'll now go for a fixed price services. So it will be a description based one. It is the description is the AMC contract. AMC contract, and then here category. It is a basically category. I will now put one others categories there. Fine. I will now put one others categories there. So let me put it now. Go there and then have a look at it now. So it's 1007 will be coming as a charge account. The charge account is coming as 1007. The employees expense account. But if you want, you can even override it now. Fine, this place, what happens, you can even override it. So we can override with what happens, your user preferences now. This is only applicable only for a expense account, expense items basically. So we can now do the override of this now. Fine, go there. So we'll now go to the shop. Fine, go to the return to shopping. And then here, what happens, I'm not going to do it now. Fine, go there. So click on what happens in the user preferences. I'm going to give a charge account now. Click on edit now. So here I will add now Nana's charge account. I will now put it now, and I will now put 10-100-1002. I'm going to put it now. There's also an expense account and go there and so once when you have a charge account available here, that will now supersede this now. If you go to the requisition line, 1007 will not come. Go there. I will now make it as what fixed prices services. This is applicable only for this now. Right, go there. I'll give something and then give it a tab. Categories others now. So let me go to the others category. Amount is something, and then go down and see. Now 1002 will be the charge account. So this will now supersede only for an expense item and not for the asset items. For asset item, what happens? It will be coming only from the mapping set now. I'll show you. So this supersedes the 1007 and then 1002 comes over here now. So this will not come. If you have a user preference account only for the expense or happens the service based items, what happens? It will be superseding now and go there and then click on it now. And then if you go for what happens an asset item, fine, go there goods. I'm going to go for it, and then it's the M10. I will not put the asset item over here now. Item 1 is an asset item, so I will not choose it now. So when you choose it account, what happens? You go down and then do it now. Now, what happens? The charge account will be coming only from your what happens your this thing. Fine. Now because what happens now sub-unit level you already disabled it. So what happens from the org level it is not coming up. Fine. So since these two are disabled, it's not coming from the org level. So only for the expense items, what happens? We have what happens only for the service-based items. We can even have a user preference which will now override this. Now let us go to the purchase order and then see it now. Fine, go there. So we'll now make a check of the purchase order. Click on it. So I have already given what happens one expense accrual here. Fine, I will not show you. Fine, click on done and then come out of it now. Expense accrual has been shown now. Fine. I will not show you the expense accrual now. This place I will not show you an expense accrual. I will now go there and then I will now manage mapping sets and then I will now make a change to purchasing now. Change it to purchasing and then click on apply and go to task. And then here you can see expense accrual at the business unit level. Fine, you click on it. Expense accrual, I have set it up as 1012. So if there is an expense item, what happens? It will be going over there now. So in the M10, if you go and see, and go there, I've set up this as what 1012. So the expense accrual is 1012. Now let us go there and then have a look at it now. Fine, go there, go to this place, and then go to the purchase orders now. We will now create what happens an expense item now. Fine, go there. Purchase order for an expense item. I'm going to create now. Fine, go there. Click on it now. Okay, connection to the server is lost. Go there and then I'll create an order. Let me create an order. So it's M10 supplier. I'm putting it now. I'm putting a sub on. Fine, click on OK now. And then click on create. And then let me put an expense item over here and the purchase order. Go down. And then now we have a plus now. Let me put an expense item over here. Item is M10 expense item. And remember both the sub-units are already what happens disabled now. So I will now put expense item over here now. I will now go for 100 quantities on this now. And then now I will now go to the what's called distributions now. Fine, go there. I will now go to the schedules and then give a date now. We need to have a date now. So go there. So let me say I need it today because this is a must now. And then afterwards I go to the distributions and then select and then edit now. The accounting distribution I'm going to see. Click on it. So here, whatever nothing is coming, let me generate the accounts. Fine, go there. So go to actions and then go to rebuild the accounts. I'm going to rebuild the accounts now. When you rebuild the accounts, whatever you see, whatever the variance is coming, the charge account is coming, is again coming only from the employee's expense account and not your what happens. The organization level expense account it is not coming. Only the employee's expense account is coming. Fine. So you go there. And then the accrual account has to be 1012. I don't know why it's not coming. Accrual has to be 1012 because it's an expense item actually. It's not coming. Accrual is not coming as 1012. It has to come now. Fine, properly. Fine, come okay. That is also another problem. I've set it up, but sometimes it comes. I have seen it now. Fine, now we'll go for the service item. Now, fine, click on plus now. We'll now go for the service item. The destination is the only active distribution for this now. It's now giving a warning now. Let us now validate it also. We can even validate it. Go to actions and then go to validate. It will be validating whether the accounts are okay or not. So the document must have at least one line. What happened? Must have at least one line. Oh God, it got deleted. I think probably by mistake. I deleted the thing probably. So I have done it. I have not saved it actually. I don't save it. So go there. So click now. I will now go for a fixed prices services. Drop it down. And then I will now go for a fixed prices services now. Fixed prices services. I'm choosing it now. It's a description based now. Go there. And also it's AMC contract. And the category I'm going to put it now. I'm going to put OTHERS others. I'm putting it now. Or let me choose some other category now. Go there. Drop it down. And then choose some other category. Click on search. Okay. You have to go for advanced and then make a search now. Click on advanced. And then it starts with fine, is not blank. And then make it not blank. And then go there is not blank. I'm making it now. I click on search now. So here I will now choose some category now. Fine. Computer, laptop, or something like that. And go there. And I click on OK now. So it's a category level purchase, which I'm making it now. And go there. Prices, I'm now saying 12 now. And then go to the schedules and then give a date now. So click on it. And then I will now give a date that I need date. Now I will now give a save. So go there, I will now give a save now. I click on save now. So I'm saving it. Now you can see the variance account and charge account are not getting populated from employees expense account. It's not coming at all. The charge account and variance account are not coming from employees expense account. Okay, is not coming. I don't know why. This is another reason which I'm stuck actually. So here it is asking me to manually make an entry now. I go there. It is now asking me to make manual entry. I go there. Go to the distributions now. And select it and then click on edit now. So here I can put the charge account, let us say 10-100-1002. I'm going to put it now and then give a tab. The variance account also becomes 1002. The charge account becomes invariably variance account. That is correct, because what happens, it is basically expense based purchases. Everything will be hitting the variance actually. But now you see the accrual has come proper. Only for this, what happens, the accrual is now 1012. Only for a service based item it is now coming, but not for the expense item actually. Fine. Expense accrual is not coming, but service based accruals is now 1102. Fine. If you give it OK, if you give what happens, click on OK, you can now see what happens. There is no, the variance also will be coming now. Fine, go there. I will again go and then edit it now. Fine, go there. I will now go and then edit. I click on it and then edit now. So here, what happens, you can now see the variance also is 1002. But it is not populating from the employee's expense account of 1007. So for a service-based item, whereas in requisition is coming properly, here it is not coming. I'm now have to manually populate it now. The variance is coming. Fine. Since it is a service item, the entire thing will be a variance account. And then the accrual is coming. Whereas for what happens for your this thing, what's called for our expense item, what happens, the accrual is not hitting 1012. When I put expense item, expense accrual is not coming as 1012. It is only coming as 1001 now. Fine. That is the other thing which I'm unable to understand now. So there may be some places where what happens, I'm not assuming a proper one now. So in this place, what is not happening is that what happens, if you see, if these two are absent, I have to get it from org level 1006 now. I have seen it sometimes, but what happens, many times it's not coming. It is not picking only the employee's expense account. That is one problem. And then what happens, your service-based purchases, the purchase orders, what happens, the account is not automatically defaulting. So I don't know where exactly to set up. Fine, there are some problems, or that I make a mistake. Fine, if any of you find out where exactly I make a mistake, please let me know so that I will also learn now. And then I do subscribe at the bottom. What happens, I'll be making a lot of what happens video. Once in a week, I'm planning to make one video so that what happens, you'll be getting educated, and then you will become knowledgeable also. Fine, I'll now share my experience basically, and then my new learnings also will be sharing. Fine. So I hope that what happens, this session is interesting for you. And then what happens, my supply chain accounting is perfectly working. Fine, do watch the second video, and that is working perfectly. Fine, there what happens, we are going to account for all the things. Fine. So on the supply chain front, and the cost accounting actually, that is working perfectly. Whereas this is giving some nakara in the last end. Fine. So if you know, please let me know. And then what happens, you can even what happens, you can even send what happens, a message to me. Now once again, I will now show you my this thing now. Fine. You can what happens, inform me over here now. Fine. This is mail ID. Where exactly I'm making a mistake, and then if you're able to correct me, I'll be it, because what happens, I'll be helping all the students. And then I have what happens, more than 30 videos uploaded, and then I'm now starting one more batch on Fusion Fine from 5th of March from 9 p.m. to 8 p.m. Fine. If you want, you can even send a mail to me. I will now enroll you for that batch basically. It'll be in depth, and then the price is just 3K, fine, 3,000. So it's very cheap actually. Fine. So you will be definitely be benefited. So do subscribe in the bottom, or here itself what happens, will be having a subscribe button. You can just subscribe it. You'll be getting a lot of what happens, videos from me. Fine. Thank you, and then bye, and then see you on the next one. Fine. See you.